Welcome back to a Geek Out Session with Troy Booth. I want to say a massive thank you for coming on, dude.
No worries, no worries.
I know we've been trying to sort this out, and it's only how a couple of weeks now we've been following each other, or a month or so, longer than that. I'm trying to
I
work
think
it out.
so. Yeah, I think so. I think it was the Kang that started it, wasn't it?
Yes, Kang. So, Troy, you guys worked on that project for a little while. So you and Michael Andrew worked on this project of Kang and putting this cosplay together. And guys, make sure like all the links in the description will have Troy's social media, and we're going to give a shout out at the end as well. But go check out his work. When I saw that Kang outfit, dude, I was like, the effort, like, oh my god, like the detail, and like, how did you get into putting cosplay together and putting like suits like that together? Because that's so complex. Like even when I saw it live, when I saw Michael at the premiere, oh sorry, I saw him at the screening. I just couldn't believe the detail in the suit, man. So like, how did you start your journey to get to the point you've got to now?
So the first thing I ever built is literally next to me still.
Ah, look at that.
It's a Gears of War Lancer. It's been stripped down to pieces, and it's literally the reason I got into it was I think it was my parents were on holiday. This is in oh god, when was it? 2017, 18 maybe.
Okay.
They'd gone on holiday, and I love Gears of War. Massive Gears of War fan, my favorite game. And I wanted the Lancer. I was like, oh, I want that. I want a replica. and at that time, I hadn't got a job or anything, and they were like 400 quid for a replica.
Yes.
And it's just sometimes replicas are too expensive.
Yeah.
And I stumbled across a guy that had done a tutorial. I don't think he even does it anymore on YouTube. He was called Andrew DFT. And he'd done a template of the Lancer and a step-by-step tutorial of how to make this thing out of floor mats.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. That was the first thing I built. Cosplay-wise, I can't remember what it was that drew me to do something. So my first cosplay was a terrible, terrible Star-Lord. It was so easy.
Yeah.
It was literally just the red jacket. I'd got the Nerf blasters, which I had painted.
Yeah.
And went to a friend with a con, and it just went from there. Building Michael's suit really started with my Thor that's back here.
Yes.
So I'd lost total passion for building anything at that point.
Okay.
I was like, I've got nothing to build. One of my friends, Stephen, who is an incredible builder himself, Stephen Knightley,
okay,
said, why don't you just build this? He was like, I want you to build this. Just do it. Because he was fed up with me saying, I've got no inspiration. And I fell in love with the way I'd done it and found my way of doing it. And like, right, this is how I'm going to do every single suit I've got now. And it just works universally.
Yeah.
So the way I do them, which is a bit of a trade secret for me, I build them on neoprene.
Oh.
So underneath Thor there, it's a neoprene wetsuit vest.
Ah, interesting. Okay. And then you kind of just build upwards on that way.
Build outwards, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can either do it on the back, I can do it on the front. I've got my next one that I'm building here at the minute.
Is it a sneak peek or is it something?
This is a passion project for me. So at the end of Guardians 2, I was the only person in the entire cinema when they went, his name will be Adam, that stood up and screamed like, oh my God, they are doing Warlock. They're doing Adam Warlock. And
oh my God. All right.
I have waited and waited and waited till they have revealed it. And I did this.
Oh, bro, you're killing me.
In 3 days.
Oh, you're killing me, bro. That is Oh shit. Okay, so I'm excited to see that in the flesh, but seeing you put it together as well. That's we've been waiting for Warlock for ages. I thought he would have been introduced into the MCU much earlier when they did the Infinity War, but I know they're never going to go with the comic books. This is its own
Yeah,
universe, so it'd be interesting to see. So you've got is that just part of the suit built so far? You still got a bit more to go?
that's I have got one bicep left.
Okay, cool, awesome,
Literally, that's
nice.
it. That's literally the last bit to do, and everything else is built. All the shins
Yeah.
like are all here. So it's literally, and then I've got to go into a brand new part of cosplay that I've never done, which is body paint.
Oh yes. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, how long you been cosplaying now for?
Since about 2017, I'd say.
2017 as well. That's oh,
Yeah,
sorry. So that was Star Lord, the
yeah,
the
yeah.
first attempt to Star Lord. Yes. Okay. Yeah. No. There's always just. I mean, what kind of made you say, you know what, I'm gonna go? Cause like, did you used to go to the cons already, or was it just I'm gonna do this
I,
and I go with my mates?
I went to one con
Yeah.
and then decided to cosplay.
Wow.
Um, I went to one con in a Captain America t-shirt.
Hmm.
Cap's my boy.
Yeah.
Still my suit, my main suit. I've always done. Um, and I was like, that was really cool. And next time I want to feel more involved and
Hmm.
dress up. And it's only these last couple of years where I think my first London was the first London after lockdown.
Oh right. Okay. I think
Uh,
that was in May 2021 or 22.
yeah, something like that. So I'd
Yeah.
never ventured down at all. I'd been
Okay.
to
What?
Birmingham and
Yeah.
but then I'd never come down to London. So I was like,
You got to do it.
uh, got to do it. And luckily, just after lockdown, as we were starting to come out, I met my partner Emily, who
Hmm.
lives in Watford.
Cool.
So her main convention was London.
Okay.
So it was like I'd got an opportunity to go and just met so many new people, and that really opened everything up.
It's a great community, man. It is a great community.
Yeah, there's some great people. Yeah,
Where are you based now?
I'm up near Sheffield.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. 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 All right. Yeah. So no, it's a great. I think the cosplay community. I think the fandom itself is a great community, and Comic Con is like one of my places. I met a lot of people, and I did. I cosplayed like, man, you're talking about 12, 11 years ago when it
You're
was
doing
cool. Fancy.
Wolverine, aren't you? At some point.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. That's
Yeah.
that's a long time ago, dude. It was like when I was. It was called fancy dress back then before it became cosplaying, dude. uh, but Wolverine, Doctor Strange, those were my guys. And then the same thing. I think I went through a period where I kind of fell out of it and and found it very hard when it came to doing characters because I don't know. I suppose everybody has their own like thing that like each character means so much to them in a different way to connect. And for me, I went through the part of where I felt like, no, I don't really fit that character because I always, I don't know, I didn't see myself in that build or anything like that. And Wolverine was the closest one because he was like the short guy, and I was like, oh man, they put Hugh Jackman in this role. Like, but I've got loads of respect for Hugh Jackman because after Logan, like as much as I didn't enjoy the X-Men movies, after Logan, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it to him because he's cemented that role as that character. So I was like, you know what, one day I'm going to do Old Man Logan, but a short version. So no, so I've been trying to get back into it, and I met Michael. I met Michael a couple of years ago. I think it was at the Doctor Strange. Was it not? Sorry, last year, Doctor Strange. Was it Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah, I think he was there. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yeah. So I
yeah.
met Mikey then, and we've connected ever since then. And he's jumped on the podcast a couple of times as well. So I mean, that's the mutual, and that's how we got to connect as well. Uh, but yeah, no, Comic Con and the community, it's just overwhelming. It's inspiring because now I get to see. A couple of years ago, I wouldn't be able to see people that have passion like that at movie screenings and being part of the whole experience. And it's like getting fans involved with, stuff that we love. Like, uh, Troy, what's your favorite movie though, dude? And that's a hard question.
Oh, that is a damn hard question.
but one that's
Oh,
stuck with you from throughout the years. Like how, like there's, like I've got one movie that's always stuck through me throughout the years, which is Back to the Future. What's yours that's kind of stuck through the years?
probably Winter Soldier.
Mm,
That
great
just
movie, dude.
got me. Like that wasn't my first time. No, it was.
Mm.
Sorry, Winter Soldier was before I did Cap. Yeah.
Oh,
So Winter Soldier was like the first time I was like, right, I don't think I'm gonna do this.
yeah.
Um, so the first Avenger, Captain America, the first Avenger was the thing that got me into training
Okay.
because I saw him
Yeah,
come out of
'cause
that pod,
I
and I
know,
was
man.
like, oh my god, I want to look like that. Um, which I took to a whole nother level last year when I started
Yeah.
doing physique photo shoots and stuff like that.
Cool.
Um, but the Winter Soldier, the combat, the story, I still think it's the best MCU or
You
up
probably
there.
you must have heard my top five MCU movies. That's probably a couple of years back. But I think Winter Soldier is the best movie in the Marvel MCU.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, hands
it's
down.
definitely. I swing around about between like because it's like, oh, I'll watch that one and be like, that's the best one. Oh, I want to watch that one. That's the best one. But Winter Soldier is always up there.
Yeah, no, it's
It's
one that's got
just
the best rewatchability. It's got the best espionage story in there. I feel like it was a better kind of planned out. It doesn't match the rest of the movies that have come out in the MCU. That's why I think it stands out so much.
yeah, yeah.
It
It's
was
totally different.
it is a movie of its own in that, and for me personally, that is one of my favorites in that whole MCU. But I mean, we're gonna have our great moments. Like I always will go back to Infinity War and Endgames,
Oh
but Winter
yeah,
Soldier
but
is like that's the pinnacle of Marvel movies. I feel like it had the best story. As you said, the comeback was amazing. They had a couple of, if I remember, I can't remember the MMA fighter they had in the beginning on the ship.
oh, it's literally just gone. It's something Pierre, George St.
Yeah, that's
Pierre.
right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So uh, I remember my brother like picking out all the fighters because he's a big fan of MMA. So and he's a martial artist himself. So he was like, you know what, they did good in this one, and it was great battle scenes in that one as well. So so Winter Soldier, yeah, Winter Soldier's a good one. Have you
I
cosplayed Winter Soldier yet?
I have worn the. Oh, do you mean the actual Winter Soldier or the stealth
Yeah,
suit?
the
No,
stealth
I've never
suit.
done. I've worn the stealth suit,
Okay.
and then loads of people love the stealth suit, and
Yeah.
I love all the cap suits. It's not my favorite.
Oh,
Um, my two tops
yeah.
are his last and his first. Um, the Endgame
Oh,
suit.
yeah.
I love it because it's the scales, the comic
Yeah,
scales,
yeah.
and
That's right.
they
Yeah.
managed to replicate it in like live action. I think that was like Endgame was the sort of the start when I started seeing the comic book suits
Hmm.
trying to be brought into like Marvel. Like now we're
Yes.
seeing like Sam Wilson's is just ripped straight from the comics.
Yeah.
I thought Cap's Endgame suit was like, right, let's just try and see if we can
Add it
do
in there.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but originally the scales were meant to be used in Civil War
Yeah.
because
Russo brothers wanted it in there. Yeah.
I've got a folder downstairs which is a one from like Sainsbury's or something, and it's a Civil War folder with Cap with the scales. So they were gonna do it and they never did. But and then the first Avenger suit, the just the buckles, the bulkiness of it,
Yeah, it looks sick.
and
That is a great suit.
I've never been able to do that suit.
Ah, there's one on the list though.
It's so expensive. So expensive. The helmet alone is like 400 quid.
God, it's an expensive hobby, like being
Yeah,
doing what we do.
but
Uh,
I've got two cap suits. That's what I've got. I've got Endgame,
mhm.
which it's actually a Civil War suit that I adapted myself. I
Okay, cool.
modified the entire thing to become Endgame.
Nice.
Um, and then the other one is I've got the Endgame concept suit, which is full black.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
so it's black shield. Literally
Yeah.
every single thing is a black thing, and all it is got the exact same shape of scales on the suit, and then an Avengers logo there, and that's it.
Ah, nice.
There's a Hot Toys of it.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yes, that's right. That's
Yes,
right. I've seen that one.
and
Yeah.
I commissioned a company to produce it, and that is a cool one. I do like that. It's not very recognizable because people don't notice it,
straight away. That's right. Yeah.
but it is cool. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. So one other thing I wanted to touch on, you guys had an amazing experience recently. Uh, that must have been out of this world, bro. At the Ant-Man premiere.
My best moments were for other people. That was
Yeah.
just, I was just, the moment Jonathan Majors saw Michael in that suit,
Yeah.
I just will remember that. Because I was just, he just literally, he was seeing everyone and then saw Michael and turned and went, oh. And it's on one of his videos and he's captured it and he walks over to him like a proud father. And it's like, oh my God, I made that suit. I made that suit. And Michael was just
bro, you should be really proud, man, because like there's a level of detail that goes into something like that. Even me, when I first saw it and I saw the photo shoot, I was like, dude, I spoke to Michael straight away. I was like, bro, I need to sketch this, bro, because it looks so good. I was speaking to Michael the other day. Sorry, you were saying?
I had one photo for that suit.
Really?
I had produced that from one photo. That was all I had.
And that's a level of detail.
Now, yeah, I mean, this obviously once we've watched the movie, I'm doing Michael version 2. I'm doing him another one. This stuff that I saw in the film, I'm like, oh, that tweak that there and
yeah.
Literally, I'm not the fastest builder. I can't just go at it. I have a few nights every night. I have a few hours, so I do work till 4, go to the gym, come home at 7, build till 10.
Yeah.
So I have a few hour gap there. So I'm not the fastest. So I had one image. Me and Michael were waiting for one image to drop of that suit because we'd seen him in the trailers, but it was just like silhouettes and him floating down. And then Michael dropped me the one photo and he was like, they've released it. I was like, right, I can start. But yeah, it was literally off one photo and then I'd just add bits when more came out. One of the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because that had a lot of detail in it. Like I would have said, because how many parts did you do that in? Because it did look intricate. Even when I was drawing it and I'm looking at the lines, I was like, bloody hell, man. That like even I know that's a lot of effort to be put in place. Like you're piecing it outwards. And I was like, yeah, oh, man, that build must have been a ball ache at one point. But I know the passion takes over in it. But yeah, that must have been a hard build.
So it started on the vest, literally vest there. Zip was at the front because I sometimes do the zip at the back because sometimes it just doesn't work that way that I need to hide the zip but I got the fact that this was a really fully covered suit. I could hide it somewhere. So I did 2 pieces that came up and over the shoulders, 2 pieces that then attached that came out from the shoulder. Yeah. And that was the vest complete. That was the top bit. I then down the zip, put a Velcro piece, which was then the purple belt line thing that went down.
That's right.
Covered the zip. Neck piece was a separate piece. Then the cape obviously attached onto the neck piece. Belt was a separate piece. And then every skirt piece was individual. So if Michael needs to sit down, all he has to do is, rather than take the whole thing off, he has to undo the belt and pull the side pieces off and he can sit down, rather than taking the entire thing off.
Okay, cool. Man, and you even thought about that process. That's nuts. That is nuts.
Being wearing the suits myself and wearing Thor as well. Yeah. Thor definitely taught me a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because I didn't make the side pieces removable. This is all attached, so I can't sit down very well.
Okay. All right. That's interesting.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just learn bits from other stuff and yeah.
Always the way. I was with Mikey yesterday, last night. We went out to Park Row. And he was telling me about the process and how long you guys went through it. And I was like, you guys must have had a really great moment. Like that Jonathan Majors coming over doing that, that's just like, that's a whole different appreciation to the work that you do. How is it for you getting to go to events like these and showcasing what you can do?
The Ant-Man one was really special.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend got to go as well.
Yeah.
She was a Cassie.
Okay, cool.
So my friend Stephen built her Cassie suit because Stephen just rattles them out like in a night. I don't know how he does it. I think he stays up for like 10 hours. But he's like, you do that, I'll build the Cassie suit and that. So he
Cool.
was then his Ant-Man with a Wasp, his partner, and M
Mhm.
as that. So I got to see Catherine meet M, and that was the first Cassie she'd ever met. She'd never met
Oh,
another Cassie cosplayer.
yeah.
So that was amazing. But I only got told I was going the day before.
Oh my God.
Um,
Oh, so you
um,
had to rearrange your whole day. I bet you were buzzing after that.
so it was like at 1 in the afternoon I got told. So I had to go and knock on my boss's door and say, "Can I book a day off?" And he was like, "I went to the board and went, what date?" And I went,
Tomorrow.
"Tomorrow." And I had to explain why. And he was like, he does not care about this stuff at all. And he was like, "Oh, sounds quite cool. Yeah, of course you can
Yeah.
go on." So,
Oh,
and
bless him.
I went in Baskin Robbins.
Brilliant, bro. You smashed it. That's absolutely
And
awesome.
it was just so easy
Yeah.
and comfy. And
Yeah.
I managed to get everyone's signature on my damn Baskin Robbins t-shirt.
Awesome, bro. That's it. That is absolutely sick.
uh,
Uh, that is an amazing experience, and like, be proud of the work that you do, dude. It's amazing, and like I know the hardship and the craftsmanship that goes into like doing some like creative work like this. So you should be proud, man. That's amazing, and getting to be in the midst of all those legends as well. That must have been just a totally epic moment because, like I say it, like I speak to everyday people on the podcast, but you get that moment when you're like, oh my God, like I got to just be in that moment and like be a part of something that I absolutely adore. So you must have been over the moon, dude.
oh, the reactions from people for it. Like Peyton Reed came over to us.
Yeah.
Um, he laughed at me as Baskin Robbins when he saw me. He thought it was hilarious. But then at the end of the screening, he stayed around, and Michael
Yeah.
called me over, and he was stood with him, and he introduced me and said, "This is the guy that made my suit," and he was like, "You've done an amazing job on this thing," and just the recognition from someone who maybe helped pick what suit they were going to do for the film. It's like, oh my God. And then there was another guy at the end of the night who Michael was like, "Oh yeah, this guy made my suit," and I didn't know till last week that he was the writer. I hadn't got a clue. I hadn't got a clue. I just was like, "Oh, thanks very much. I really appreciate the comments and that." And he was the writer. So
I'm trying to remember. So when we did, when was it? So last year when we did Black Adam, I interviewed
I am so
them.
jealous of you meeting that guy.
Oh, bro, that was like I'm like that wasn't. They didn't tell us. They didn't tell us. Like they stuffed us all in a room, and they had like people talking to us from Warner Brothers and kept us busy, and then all you heard like in the background was, "Oh man, look at these beautiful people," and I was like, "What the like what the f what the fuck?" Like they, who is that?
Dwayne.
Who the hell is that? Who is that in his purple pajama suit? I was like, oh my
Oh,
God! Like for me, that was like honestly, dude. Like I think I almost cried in the moment. Like I couldn't. It's weird, man, because you fan out because you're like, for me, I watched my brothers like grow up with The Rock, yeah,
yeah.
and how big fans they were of like wrestling and WWF and the People's Champion and like I think my brother teared up. He was like, "Listen, man, I did not think like in our you know couple of years of running this podcast and getting to do like some of the movie stuff that we do that you eventually meet one of my idols there." And I'm like, bloody hell, I didn't know myself, dude. Like he surprised me. But I remember him, I think that spurred off with me retweeting one of my reactions to the Black Adam footage. And I thought it was like a fan page that retweeted my reaction. But when I woke up that morning after, I was like, hold up, man, I've never seen this many messages on my Twitter before, and I only had like 50 followers on there for the podcast. And I was like, oh my God, I'm coming close to like 1,000 here. What's going on here? And I was like, holy shit, he actually saw my reaction and he retweeted my reaction and responded to me, and he was like, so I think I know what happened was like anybody that he got to interact with in the UK, he was like, I want to meet these guys because these guys supported the film
Yeah. See, my
and
my
surprised
mine
us.
with
Yeah,
that, mine with that
yeah,
was Cena
yeah.
when I met Cena.
Oh my God, that's amazing as well. That's another guy I want
Oh,
to meet. Definitely,
so
definitely.
where is it?
Peacemaker. Oh my God,
Oh,
awesome.
so there's a massive story behind this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's a convention in the UK called Secret Con,
Yes.
and it is a convention just for photographers and cosplayers. There's no stalls, nothing. So you go for your photos.
Hmm.
I had got nothing to wear,
Okay.
absolutely nothing. I got nothing new, and they'd announced Peacemaker the series, and I think a few episodes had been released, and fell in love with it.
Amazing.
I started building that after Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
and I cannot even remember where this idea came from. I decided I was going to do the dance, but get everyone else involved as well.
Okay.
So the one at the start of the show is a short sequence, isn't it? It's like a minute or so. I
That's
took the
right.
whole song and did the start, and then the part where there's that's not in the intro, I would fill with other cosplayers just dancing.
Okay.
Um, and then it would pop back to us doing the rest of it, and then again, and just keep doing that. And made this little video. I literally put it together in a day, put it out on Instagram, and James Gunn retweeted it.
Absolutely awesome.
Like, and I
Absolutely
was like,
awesome.
oh, I lost my mind when that happened. And then someone sent me a message saying that WalesCon have got someone big,
Hmm.
and the rumor they said it was a wrestler, and the rumors started coming that it was either probably Batista or Cena,
Hmm.
and they said there would be a clue at 7 o'clock to
Okay.
who it would be, and there was no clue. And
Ah.
the reason being is because you can't see me. There's no clue. Um, and as soon as they put up it was him, I bought my ticket, bought to meet him and everything, and went
Yeah.
to WalesCon. And I was the only peacemaker in the whole convention.
Ah. That's
So
nuts. Because he only did the 1 day, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
And
Yeah.
he changed days as well. So I had to like change everything again and do that. Um, went in, met him, and he was like, the guy who ran the thing came out with me and just went, that was just like watching a proud dad meeting his son after a few years. Um, and he asked me where I got the costume. I said I made it, and he was like, that is amazing and stuff like that. And it's literally a
Yeah.
cycling t-shirt. The helmet's up there,
Yeah. Yeah. I can see it.
at the back. Yeah. The dancing came. I went to ask him a question,
Hmm.
and um, said, I got to ask you, where did the dance come from? Because it's
Hmm.
ridiculous. And I said, I've done the dance. James retweeted it. I said, and I just, what's the word where you don't think you're going to say it? I just said, blurted it out. I was like, dreams to dance with you. And then started asking the next question. He just went, come on then.
Wow. Brilliant.
I was
Right.
like, is this actually happening? And he was like, yeah, come on, we're going to do it. And I got to go up on stage and do the Peacemaker dance with him. And it was like
Oh,
unreal.
that's
It was
always, that's
incredible.
amazing. That's amazing. Now that, oh man, that's a great opportunity. And as you said, like you just said it, didn't you? And like, you just don't know, like, will it happen or I'm just going to say it. I'm going to take my chances. I did that with The Rock as well. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know, it just worked. And I was like, man, I can't believe what just happened here. But no, amazing experience, man. Peacemaker was brilliant, dude. Like, he was great in the
Oh, I
movie.
love it.
Great soundtrack. I got to interview James Gunn before it came out on Sky, and like he's a music man. I'm a music man. I love my music, and we had a moment of just geeking out about music because I think everybody else asked a lot about comic book stuff. I was like, listen, man, this guy's got great taste in music, man, because what he did in
Oh,
Guardians of the Galaxy. was
Yeah,
amazing. Like he made us fall in love with a lost generation of music. So, uh, and I'm
he's a
old school,
dream.
so
He's a dream one to meet next. I'd love to
yeah,
meet James Gunn.
I'm looking
Like,
forward to seeing what they do with uh, the DC studios. I'm hopeful. I think he's great in what he's done already. It's a shame we live in a world where negative stuff moves forward, and that's the hardest part of it. But I think
yeah,
we're in great hands with James Gunn. He's going to give us great quality stuff, and he's a fan of the material, dude. Like what he
that's the
did
main
with
thing.
Suicide Squad, like him coming over to DC and doing a movie that outlandish, and the way he knows how to use those characters so well. I mean, it was brilliant, man. I loved that. I
Yeah,
loved that Suicide Squad. And the Peacemaker show just that proved like how good it was as well, and bringing
yeah.
a character that's not really well known and making them mainstream, which was absolutely amazing because he did that with Guardians of the Galaxy. Because I remember when they said they announced the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I was like, oh, the guy who's I can't remember the movie he did last. It was Scooby Doo. He did Scooby Doo, and there's a horror movie with slugs. And
I know
then
what you
this,
mean. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember
And then they
what
were like,
movie it was, but
yeah,
they said, oh, he's going to direct Guardians of the Galaxy. And then I was like, holy shit. Okay. I remember Guardians of the Galaxy from the comic books, Infinity War, and all the rest of it, and like the characters that he was going to pick. But I was like, oh man, they're not even. I mean, even the Avengers were B characters because the X-Men were really big at that time in the 90s. But they somehow made the Avengers the A team. And then they brought Guardians of the Galaxy in there. And I'm like, those characters are like, if you go to their comic book series, they're really outlandish, crazy stories, and they're not
yeah.
really like really mainstream characters. But he worked it so well with these misfits, and each of us found something beautiful to connect with, and he made it work. It's amazing. So he's going to do great with DC. I think he's going to
I'm
smash it.
I'm really, really looking forward to see what he does with DC. On the Guardians thing, this is always comes to mind with that. I went to see it, obviously, and then
Mm.
uh, my mum's a bit of a geek as well.
Cool,
Grew up on Star Wars, everything like that.
nice.
But for some reason, she watched the trailer and went, "I am not going to watch a film about a raccoon and a tree." And then by the end of it, was in absolute bits when Groot was there going, "We are
Oh,
Groot." She's just really in absolute
oh,
bits and adores it now. So
great.
it's like,
Absolutely great. Absolutely
but
great.
I've got faith in James Gunn. I'm really excited to see what he does.
Oh, he's going to
Yeah.
do good things, bro. Peter Safran, like I met Peter Safran. I met him twice now. I met him at where was it? I met him at Shazam, and I met Peter Safran at Aquaman. That was my first ever. Aquaman was my first ever event where a guy who just loves doing art and talking about comics and stuff like that and movies. When Warner Brothers first invited me to Aquaman, and it was like to meet James Wan as well, and I was like, "This is nuts. Is this really actually happening?" And then they used my quote in the trailer, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like somebody just messaged me randomly and said, "Kibbs, you're the only Kibble that I know. So I've just taken this photo on ITV. Is that your name on the trailer?" And I was like, and it was perfectly done because I said, like, I think in my tweet when I came out of that movie, I put down visually stunning on the screen. And that's the first time for me as a avid comic book reader, you're seeing Atlantis and you're seeing these vast characters in a on the big screen. So I'm a fanboy, so I'm just going to geek out. So I said exactly what an artist would say because I thought it was visually stunning. They used the part stunning and used my Twitter handle and put it. It's when what was it? Jason Momoa kind of flicks his hair, comes out and it says Kibla Amidar. Think stunning, and I was like, "Ah, he is so I can't complain. So they used the best part of it. I was like, why didn't you put up the full quote? Now everybody thinks I got a crush on Jason, but who doesn't, man? What a beautiful man.
I've got
Uh,
I've got a funny connection to Jason Momoa. I've got a
yeah,
really funny connection. My girlfriend's dad is his bike mechanic.
brilliant,
So
absolutely
all them
brilliant.
choppers you see on Jason's Instagram and everything,
Yeah.
her dad fixes them and builds them and everything for him.
Oh, that's amazing, bro.
And I've
That's
got a video on my I think it's on my Instagram and my TikTok. I don't use my TikTok much at all, but it's on there.
yeah.
Of Jason Momoa sending me and Emily a message, just going, "Hi guys, Hope you're well. So random. And there's a dad stood next to you going, I'm like,
Because he knew
I
how
keep saying,
proud you guys would be. That's just so
oh,
geeky. I love
I
it.
keep
I
saying
love
at
it.
some point, I'm like, you've got to tell me when he comes. I want to meet him. And he was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll sort it. I'll sort it. I'm like, oh my God, if I get to meet that guy, it'd be amazing.
Another cool dude. And like when they were all there at the premiere, like full of fire, man. Uh, great energy, man. Great energy. All of them had great energy. I was lucky enough to be a part of that. It's weird because like I mean, we've all grown up watching the MCU and comic book movies becoming like a big key part of people's lives. But for me, as a avid reader from when I was younger, to say, "Holy shit!" Like I can tell my daughter, and I've got another daughter coming in 2 months, that you know I can be a cool dad, basically. Whether they're into comics or not, I'm not going to force that upon them, even though it's all over the walls. Uh, I just want them to say that. So it's like legacy for me. Like it's been a big part and it's been a great journey. But same thing for you, dude, bro. You should be really proud with the work that you've done and the things you've got to do because it's an amazing, amazing moment that you live with it for the rest of your life after,
Yeah,
and it's
I just do
amazing.
it, but I do it just do it because I love it.
Exactly, and
That's the
that's
main thing.
exactly that's it's funny
That's
because me and Mikey had that conversation yesterday, and we were like. Uh, And I don't like we weren't bad mouthing or anything like that. We're just saying that people forgot how to do things for the love of it.
yeah.
People
There's
we're
quite a
so
lot. Yeah,
yeah, we're so quick to be validated because of the amount of views and likes we get now. And it's a weird society because I don't want it to be that because I'm I think a couple of years older than Mikey and I was like, listen, like I grew up, I didn't even have my first mobile phone till I was like 21. I didn't even jump on social media till like 6, 7 years ago.
mm.
Even with starting the podcast social media, I found it really hard. But my brother was like, give it a go. You get out there, you make some more connections, and you'll probably find people along your journey that absolutely love this stuff. And he goes, that's why we do what we do, is because it's the love of it. And Mikey said that yesterday, because some people are doing it and they were like, oh man, it's not working great and don't know why. And I was like, forget all of that validation stuff. Just continue doing what you love. I wouldn't have been here if I didn't love what I'm doing. We would have given this podcast. I mean, we're on you'd be episode 400. No, yeah. Yeah, dude. Including like, so we've got we're on 347, including the guest. You're like episode 400, dude.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
We've been doing this for 6 years now,
Yeah,
and it was never about views or likes and the rest of it. It was what we connect with and me having a conversation with my brother because he lives abroad, like, and we're quite a close knit family, so we get the chance to conversate and talk about the stuff we love. We didn't know it could take us places and introduce
mm.
us to new people and the community that I've kind of grown up with now. It's like it's amazing, bro. It's absolutely
Yeah,
amazing. So. No, thanks for reaching out, man. I think it's always nice when somebody says they because we try and get everyday people on here that love this stuff, and the fact that you reached out, we're very grateful for you to come on, dude.
yeah. I've met so many amazing people through this, and it's just I love doing everything. So like, Last of Us is on at the minute, and
Yes.
I'm in a thing called Sports Productions.
Okay.
And last year we did an entire fan film of Last of Us
Oh,
on
sick,
YouTube, and I was Tommy.
bro,
So someone did me the whole makeup of I looked old, I got the wig on, everything. And it's like a half an hour long video. It's on YouTube called All We Lost.
bro. So
And it's
do
from
me a big, give us the link for that so I can put that in the description.
yeah, I will do, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it's there's some of the scenes from part two
Mm-hmm.
that you know, but then the idea from the writers was to fill the gaps between the bits we don't see.
Oh, interesting.
And
Okay.
and um the voiceover is you're hearing what Abby and Ellie are thinking.
Ah,
So
okay.
it's like they're talking in their mind and saying what they want to do to each other and all that. But yeah, I will send you the link.
Please.
Um, I only had a small part in that. I turned up as Tommy, and um, but the rest of the crew are amazing, and
Oh,
there's
sick.
more stuff they've done. They've
Okay.
done one for Detroit, Become Human, and it's just a group that have just started doing more and more and more.
Nice. I'll check that out
But
definitely. But please send me the links. I'll get that in the description. I'd love to see
I
people's
will,
reaction.
yeah. There's just so much stuff that I've learned and done with it. I was all over the place last week. I did a midnight sun shoot in the middle of London.
Oh yes, that's right. I saw that.
With Michael and a group of friends, Hugo, Paul. There's just loads of us have got Midnight Suns characters together and did a whole shoot. And then Saturday night, I did a late night shoot doing Daredevil.
Yeah.
Doing a recreation of season 3, which the photographer Carlos, who is part of Sports Productions, if you check them out, they're on my Instagram and his, has absolutely nailed the look, and they just look from the show. I mean, I just wore a black suit, a black mask, and wraps, but the colors, everything, he's just nailed it.
That's one great thing about photographers and their editing suites, bro. Once they've got a visual and a stunner, and I think Daredevil had a really great cinematographer on there because it looked amazing. The director of photography, probably one of the best looking shows in years when it comes to bringing that character to life. Season 3 was nuts, bro. Bullseye was the guy though. He's sick. So good. So good.
I will just go to YouTube and watch that final fight.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
It's just so visceral and raw when he's screaming at him. I love doing Daredevil. I've got the helmet here. Where is it? So I don't know how much
lovely,
you can
man.
see of it.
Yeah, we can see that.
The lenses on this was the hardest thing to do. So hard.
Because you're trying to put a curve to it and then pop it in, right?
The hardest part was I didn't want anyone to see my eyes.
Yeah.
But I needed to be able to see perfectly fine. This is actually my 5th Daredevil helmet.
Right.
Because I've just never been happy with how it fit. And then found this file that my friend Craig, Cosplay Dad UK, an incredible 3D printer. We found this and scaled it to my head. It opens up, so there's a seam at the back, and it opens up like that, and then connects with magnets.
Awesome.
But the lenses were so difficult. There's actually 3 layers of different plastics on the inside of the lenses just to get that effect of mirrored, but I can literally see absolutely perfect.
So, but you see, so everything will be in red for you, right?
Everything's in red, but I can literally distinguish anything. I can see everything perfectly fine. But yeah, it is a bit weird.
Must be, because if you're wearing that for a couple of hours, you're like, oh man, my eyes. Do you go through that adjustment period where you're like, oof, this is different colors?
Yeah, one of the good things about it is I can easily flick it off and on. So
that's good. Yeah,
it's not too bad. But I just do this because it's a passion thing. I love it.
No, of course. That's
like
amazing.
The Adam thing. Michael sent me the photo of Adam when it dropped because he knew I loved the character and was waiting for it. And he phoned me. He was like, "They've dropped the photo. Get on it now. Get on it now." And within 3 days, I'd done that, and I was like, "Yeah, that's one of the characters I seem to think I'm going to get quite a few people saying, oh, you were just following a trend, like you're just doing this because it's the newest thing." And I'm like, let me tell you about Adam Warlock.
Exactly.
And just go into the history of who this guy is.
I think that plays a big part of the fandom that we're in is the history that a lot of us know we'll go through, and there's a lot of people that do follow trends, and it's just the way it is, though, bro. Like it went back to that conversation of like people trying to get validation for trying to be a part of a fandom, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I've met so many people in that industry where they're not fans. They do it because they got that validation online. They actually probably they're creators in their own way, but they weren't raised up with the comic books or the movies. They just done it because it got them the more likes and the more follows. So
yeah,
It's the
I've
tough
done
one.
suits on Instagram that
Hmm.
I know are not going to get the likes and shares and follows, but I want to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
That's
I
because you
built
love it, dude.
I built Thorin from The Hobbit.
Oh, right.
Um, it took me 2 years to build the entire thing.
Wow.
Um, and that is a warm costume. And
It must be.
idiot here decided to debut it in the middle of summer. Um,
Ouch. Okay. Yeah, that
at a
must have been.
fantasy at a fan yeah, a fantasy festival. It was 30 degrees, but I'd like made it. I was like, I am wearing this thing. I don't care how hot it is. And then by about 3 hours in, I was just like, get it off me now. um, but I went so deep into doing that. Like the sword is literally a
Hmm.
cast. It's metal, and it is a cast from the film one from Weta Workshop.
Wow.
Um, I had someone who my friend's a carpenter, and I commissioned him to do a proper scabbard with all the engravings on and everything. Um, and it's a suit I
So
went
you
absolutely full on, and it doesn't get the likes, but I love it.
don't need to do.
It-
If you loved it and if you
no.
enjoyed it, it's like we make content to yes, people are going to see that content, but you made that content because you're going to go through it and you're going to watch it. So if you don't like the content, why are some people not going to connect to it? But like whatever I put out there is, I love what I do, and as you
Yeah,
do as well, you clearly show your passion in what you do. Then you don't need that validation, man. To be honest.
I mean, there's
And
even suits like you start putting them together, and you know they are going to be the most uncomfortable thing ever. My Pattinson batsuit is
yeah,
so uncomfortable and just cumbersome. Of like you are stuck like that.
yeah,
Um, but I built it before I knew how they'd done it. Again, it was one of those that I built before I knew how they'd actually made the suit. Now I've watched how they do the suit. I can figure out how they made him move so well.
mm. Yeah, because
Um,
that must have
but
been.
I just went for the detail. I just went
Mm.
to make it look as best I could, which I can't move very well.
No, that's good
Um,
though. It was another great suit though. I saw the photos of that. That looked awesome.
I do love that suit, but that's one of my plans for this year is to make a suit. I found a concept that someone had drew up and was a bit like they'd done it as if it was him in his prime, like his next step up.
Okay,
And
interesting.
I'm gonna do it like I've done these,
Yeah,
and be able to move in it and do a full video and everything. I just want to be able to move perfectly in it.
yeah,
I figured out a way. I'm like, yeah, I can do it, and I can be able to move. I can, yeah.
awesome. That's
So
so.
that's one of the
Is that
next
is that
ones.
one of your major projects that you're working on? Is there any other ones that we can get a little sneak peek at, or ones that you want to
Uh,
work on? Like any passion projects? Any other passion projects?
so at the minute, I've got Adam for myself.
Hmm.
I've got a Magneto that I'm working on for someone back there,
Okay,
which is a Days of Future Past Magneto.
nice.
Um, I've then got, I've actually got a Wolverine for a friend to do,
Okay,
um, and that's just a concept. It's going to be our own thing. It's going to not be based on anything. Um,
okay.
I've got Michael's second Kang suit to
Hmm.
do. Um, in
So
terms of myself for the year,
do you do the cows like the Wolverine cows?
he's printed one, so it's for Craig, the guy who does all the printing.
Ah, okay,
So
cool.
he's printed the cowl, and then we're gonna base it off the colours of the cowl and do the rest of it.
Go from the rest. Okay,
Um,
cool.
you can build foam cowls. Like that's one of the things I am not great at. I am not great at building the foam cowls. So I
Mm,
prefer personally just to have 3D ones because you
hmm.
get the structure. It's quite
That's right.
nice.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can, um,
They
and
look sharp. The
itself,
3D ones look sharp. Like they like your
yeah.
Daredevil one there. The detailing in that. I think that's
Oh
from the
yeah,
movie.
I
I
love that.
think that from that's the TV show. That's how dead close it is. You're like, okay,
Yeah,
that's from the TV show. So
it's
you're the detailing in the 3D print looks much better. The foam ones I've seen, but then like I'm good friends with I'm not sure if you know Wolver Steve.
No, I'm not sure. No.
So Wolver Steve
Um,
is a massive, massive Wolverine cosplayer that I met a couple of years ago, and he's amazing, absolutely amazing. But some of his cows, most of them are 3D printed, and they look absolutely awesome, dude.
yeah, some of the 3D print ones are so cool, and there's a lot of concepts out there. And some of the
Yeah,
concept ones are mental, but look insane.
yeah, that's right.
Um,
So no, awesome.
for myself, I think I haven't actually got that many plans for myself at the minute. Adam's like I've got it laid out of how I want to show everyone it
Mm.
as well. Like
Okay,
because this
cool.
is it is a character I adore.
Hmm.
Um, I'm really desperate at the end of the film for them to paint it black because
Mm.
the black that I want him to turn up. I am so hoping in that film he's a bit like the Terminator, just
I
an
think he will be.
unstoppable force.
He will
Yeah,
be. I think
but at
he
the
will be.
end, because I prime everything black first before
Okay.
everything gets the paint on, because black's a really good color to get everything on.
Hmm.
And I painted that black and just stood back and looked at it and went, "Gosh, this would look so cool in black." um, and then Batman, that's the other one for the
Okay.
that I'll just take my time over because it's not for a film, it's not for a deadline. It's that I'll just do a bit when I can, and
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah. Of
if I
course, of
find
course.
think of something else to add to it, I'll be like, "Oh, I'll add that. Oh, I'll add that." I'm thinking of adding. They did it slightly with the Affleck Justice League suit. He
Hmm.
got like sort of like a hydraulic system on his arm, so
That's right.
that in my idea is like that would give him a bit more power. So
Mm.
rather than it just be a human body, he's got that plus a hydraulic system that goes
That.
like.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm
That
thinking of
throws the
adding
punch
some
through.
like stuff on there. Yeah,
Okay.
um, I'm thinking of adding something like that on. Um, Pinterest's great. I just scroll through Pinterest while in bed, just like, oh, I like that one. Save that.
Yeah, Pinterest is dangerous because like even when it comes to like some of the comic art I do, I go on there and just so many amazing pieces on there to get inspiration from. Uh yeah, very dangerous, very dangerous. What's your like most anticipated movie for this year, dude?
I think Guardians
Yeah?
still at the minute, just because of Adam. Really,
Cool.
I know he might not even be a big part. It's just, but it's a character it's a niche character that I've followed.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to think what else is coming out. I think yeah, I think Guardians at the minute is the thing. Unless I can think of anything else later, Guardians
Hmm.
is the one at the minute.
Nice,
Um,
nice, nice.
and I'm so glad I've been able to like build this one because
Hmm.
this you said about dream suits. There's some suits that I would love to do, but no wouldn't suit me, even
Hmm.
though I love them. So I'm a massive Hellboy fan.
Oh man,
Um,
amazing. Yeah.
I adore Hellboy. I've got a whole shrine in my bedroom to just Hellboy. Um, but
That's
I
awesome.
know I wouldn't I wouldn't suit it.
Yeah.
I would not suit Hellboy. Um, I did think last year I was like, oh, I'm going to do it, and then I've just rethought, I'm like, because when I look at Hellboy, I think you need to be like 6'5", even if you're not like, even if you're not like the biggest muscly guy. If you're just
Yeah.
big,
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
just fits.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Um, so that's one, and the other one is I would one day, maybe I will build a full Swamp Thing.
Oh, bro. Oh my God.
I
Because that's like there's like a handful of people that have actually done it and they look great, but I want to see more, man. I'd love to see that.
the
That'd be so intricate though.
because I loved the show. I
Show was
loved
brilliant.
the and the fact that they built that suit as
Nuts,
well.
bro. It's
I was
crazy.
like, sometimes the prosthetics are so much better than CG.
Always, bro.
Uh,
Always. We that era
um,
of kids that love like me. Like The Thing is another favorite movie for me. And what Stan Winston and his team did, like with the live aliens and prosthetics, and it was like, wow, man, this is amazing. And like we're starting to get back into that now. So we're
yeah,
having a mixture of stuff like Rogue One. I think what Gareth did
yeah.
in Rogue One, I absolutely adore. I mean, it's one of the underrated Star Wars movies, but I thought it was fucking amazing, bro. Like
Yeah.
And he did a lot of stuff with live props and live studio stuff. And yes, you're gonna do the vast scenes on CGI, but he kept all the internal scenes like really close to home. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is why I love movies. But
Even watching Mando last night,
oh
the
man,
puppets.
so good,
They've
so
got
good.
Grogu the puppets, and then I can't remember the name of them, but they got the
Oh,
Babu Frick ones,
yeah,
haven't they?
yeah,
From
yeah, the
the
repairing
droid
guys.
smiths, and they're all
Yeah.
like really stuttery, and I'm like, it looks unreal, but it looks real. If you get what I mean, like
Oh, it's
they just
perfect.
the
It's
way they move
perfect.
is so much nicer than
Yeah.
if it was just a CG model.
Yeah, and of course,
Um,
because you've got, I think CG has put this fluidness in some of the characters that you'd think like, I mean, there's a guy that looked like, I think it wasn't him, but it was like, it was a General Akbar. And I was like, yes, they got him in there. And I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, it's a trap. But they use physical props and it just gives it that element that you can say, oh, you know what, I can feel and touch that. And it's
yeah,
amazing that I've seen. I mean, we're in that world now, man. I mean, even with Ant-Man, they did a lot of the stuff quite physical as well. Like even like some of the, the crystal head creatures.
yeah.
That wasn't like CGI. That was actually somebody with a crystal on their head and
I didn't
running
know
around
that.
like
I didn't
crazy.
know that at
Yeah,
all. Wow.
yeah. So like, you had a couple like we're gonna have a mixture of stuff in there, and like, and sometimes we won't even know, and until you see the making, and you're like, oh shit, like that was real. But the problem with CGI now is so vastly used and it cuts out so much. Like unless you're doing a movie for Tom Cruise where he wants to do everything physical, then it's his insurance must be like sky high. Like we can't insure this dude because he does crazy shit. Uh
I love I love the stunts as well. That's
he's
another
good,
thing. It's
man.
just a
Stunts is
whole other thing. Yeah. Mission Impossible, Bond. Oh, Bond's
oh,
my thing as well.
you know what? It was
Like,
great because I was like, they gave it a really good different twist to what they did with Bond, I think. Like they grounded the character and gave us a brawler, man. I like that. I know we usually
yeah,
got the smooth kind of criminal guy, but he was smooth, but he was like vicious. I love the fact that like Casino Royale is my favorite Bond movie.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's my
Casino
favorite
Royale.
Bond movie.
Yeah. Have
So
you
good.
have you scrolled through my Instagram and seen my Casino Royale shoot I did?
No, oh, I'm gonna
I
go through
re
that.
I recreated the torture scene.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
All right, hold up, man. Let me see this
So
one.
this it's the same guy that did my Daredevil ones. It's quite a fair
Yeah,
bit back, but there's like it's a greeny coloured one, but we recreated the torture scene.
that's jokes.
Um,
That's
it
that's
started off as
brilliant.
a joke,
Yeah.
and then we were like, we could actually do this and make it look really quite cool. Um, but yeah, that was definitely a different type of cosplaying.
Well, bro, you put the effort in, you get it out, right? You put yeah, you put that in, and you'll get the rewards. You know what? I'm gonna end up scrolling, but I'll check it out and then I'll message you and I'll let you know, dude.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, man. I think I've taken your time, dude, and like, and I know how important your evenings are when it comes to building or just having a relaxed time after work, bro. So like, thank you for jumping on, man. It's a great pleasure to speak to you face to face, and hopefully we will cross paths at one of these events, maybe Comic Con or a movie premiere.
definitely,
I'm sure we will
definitely,
definitely cross paths because if we cross paths like how we've done with Ant-Man, then I'm sure we'll see loads more in the future. Like I think for me, because I've been trying to bang on Marvel's door for a while, I finally got to see a screening. When I saw that screening of Ant-Man, I was like, really proud moment for me because we've been lucky enough to be invited to some of the events and some of the studios that have given us the opportunity. And we're a small podcast; we're not big, so I'm always grateful to have opportunities like that. So I always see it as a blessing, but I know how much hard work we put into it as well. So keep doing the great work that you do, dude. I am looking forward to seeing it, and then I maybe even commission you to getting me back into cosplaying, dude.
yes, yeah. If
Actually,
you're
I
if
wouldn't
you
even know.
if you're at London, just look out for someone who spray gold
Okay, yeah, yeah, definitely, I will be. So are you going in May? Yeah.
because Yeah, that's the debut of Adam. That's when I'm going to
Awesome.
first wear it to a con.
Sick. All right, cool. So I will definitely see you there. Definitely see you there. But yeah, no, again, man, thanks for joining this evening. So, guys, before I go, Troy, where can we find you on the socials? Give us the deets, bro.
So my Instagram is at Captain_Tempest_cosplay.
Hmm.
I think TikTok, I don't really use it much. I put bits on there, which is just Captain Tempest, and
Hmm.
same on Twitter, Captain Tempest.
Awesome, guys. Go give him a follow, and plus, I'm gonna put the link down for the
Sports
short that you did.
Productions,
All right,
yes.
cool. So
Um,
please do send me that link, and then I'll get that in the description and on the bottom of the screen so people can go check it out. But as always, man, for me and to the listeners, I mean, I always try and when I speak to my guests and to give a message to the listeners that wanted to cosplay or get into art or love doing movie reviews and stuff like that, and just to give them a bit of an inspiration, bro. What would you say to them, even if they're on their training journey as well, to get healthier? Like I'm on my health, I'm trying to get healthier, so I've started training the past month. What can you tell the listeners to kind of motivate them, dude?
that this is for everyone.
Hmm.
Um, even if you love a character, go for it. You don't have to look exactly like that character. You don't have to be the same proportions as that character. You don't even have to be a full builder. You can buy a costume. If you've got a passion for that character or to do that thing, do it. Go for it. I started with a really terrible Star Lord. Um, there now is sites where you can literally buy a full Star Lord outfit, pulled it finished and sent to you,
Hmm.
and that's perfectly fine to do that suit. Um, you don't have to build like this.
Hmm.
Um, I just I choose to build like this because I love building stuff, but just go for it. That's the word of it. Just go for it. If you've got a passion for it, just everyone can do it.
Oh, you heard it from Troy, guys. Make sure you guys check out. Check what? Go follow this guy, man. Go. He's got amazing work, so go check it out. And that's all I can say is check it out because you don't know, because you'll find something that will inspire you. Michael posted that picture of him in the Kang suit, inspired me to do an art piece, which took me a good couple of hours because of the detail in it. All them lines, bro. But I loved it, and it's if something grabbed me like that, and then I suppose we connected through that way. So we're now in that same timeline now, and we will cross paths. But no, amazing, man. Be proud of the work you've done, and to the listeners, as you heard it, just go do it. Honestly,
And
you just don't know where it'll take you.
as much as I got advice from everyone, if anyone wants to ask me questions, please drop me a message. I am happy to advise on building stuff
Awesome.
because I had a lot of people help me
Hmm.
on building and learning the bits. So if anyone needs anything, I don't claim to be the best builder in the world. There are some people who are insane. Um, but if there's any way I can help, message me and I will try and give you some
Look at this
advice.
guy. This guy being so humble, man. Your work's amazing, dude. Your work's amazing.
Thank you.
And take credit for that, dude. Honestly, so humble. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Uh, but now look, Troy. Awesome. Let me before all my goodbyes are so long. But have a great evening, dude. And we'll definitely catch up. Uh, but yeah, thank you again, dude. Thank you so much for
No
jumping on.
worries. Thank you very much for having me.